So let me welcome you to the third David Pisarek from Wow Digital's open office hours. And we had one June, was it May 22nd and June 10th? I can't remember the dates, not that it really matters, but let's get some let's get some emojis going here. And obviously please throw some emojis in the chat. I always like to throw fire emojis in the chat just because I was part of. That's what the person who ran the mastermind always did, putting them fire emojis in the chat gets people going. You put whatever emoji you feel comfortable with in the chat as we welcome David. David, how do you want to start this today?
Ben, thank you so much for the intro. Hi, Albert
Pleasure.
and Mary Jane. Nice to virtually connect and meet with you. And Ben said this is the third iteration and session that I'm running here with TechSoup. I've done some webinars in the past with the community as well, and I've got let me I guess give you a little bit of my background and history here, so you kind of understand where I'm coming from. I worked in nonprofits for about 16 years, from 2000 to 2016, doing all kinds of digital marketing, web, social media, interactive kiosks, display screens, trade show booth technology implementation, all kinds of stuff in
Awesome.
that kind of realm. And when I was downsized from the hospital I was at in 2016, that's when I started Wow Digital. I just kind of ramped up my freelance. So May
Right.
was our ninth anniversary. We've done over 300
Oh,
projects for nonprofits over the 9 years. And our primary focus over here at Wow Digital is web. So making you really great websites, social media, graphics, email marketing strategy, all that kind of stuff that a lot of organizations need, should have, probably aren't spending enough time thinking about it or strategizing or even implementing it. The other thing that I've been doing for the last 4.5 years, almost 5 years, is I'm a mentor and coach. I've helped over 240 organizations grow and scale their businesses and their impact that they've had to the tune of tens of millions of dollars in new net revenues and income coming into them. So I've got a very special place in my heart for growth and mindset shifts and things like that. And I'm here bringing this to the community. So it's totally fine that Ben's here. Ben was on the last two, but Albert and Mary Jane, this is a great opportunity to have a lot of one-on-one and direct conversation here, which would be different if there was, I don't know, 20 people here.
right.
So I'm happy to have a conversation, talk about whatever you is on your mind from that perspective, anything I can give you my thoughts, input, and direction with. And Ben's got a lot of insight as well. I know
Yep.
he pipes up when he's got something that he wants to add or to support with.
My own
And
experience, close to two
this is
decades.
totally informal, right?
Yeah.
So feel free to like interrupt me if I'm in the middle of talking and there's like something that you need to clarify or whatever. So I guess I'll hand it over to Albert, Mary Jane. If you have any questions, if you have any ideas, any thoughts, if you're like, where do I even start with this? That's all good too.
Go ahead.
This the Rural Communities Resource Center is our nonprofit here in Tulare County, which is pretty much the center of the California Central Valley.
Okay.
And we were created as a 501c3 in order to create farmer and workers cooperatives. And the reason being is here in very impoverished rural areas, that's pretty much the best business model, really, to lift people out of very deep poverty. I mean, this is very deep poverty in this area, and it's worsened now because. As you know, Tulare County is one of 3 counties that produces nearly 50% of all the food commodities for this nation and also for export. And of course, much of the agricultural workforce is undocumented. And just to show you how close it impacts us, one of our board members had her son deported on June 17th,
Wow.
and she panicked and she fled with her other minor children to Mexico. So we've lost a board member and one of our hardest working members who was initiating another cooperative. So right now, we have the Filipino Farmers Cooperative, and it's been up and down. And I'm thinking that despite uh, we had a number of funding rounds from USDA,
Mhm.
CDFA, and all of that has pretty much been terminated or frozen. And so now we know we have to pivot to.
Sorry, we lost you.
I'm sorry, it's an incoming
No,
call.
no.
So that is where we are right now. And we're trying to do two things. And we're
Okay.
thinking that one thing we need to do, and maybe you can help us in figuring this out, is turning our agricultural storage building, because that was one of the grants or awards that we had won was through the AmeriCorps Vista program. And of course, that's all gone for us. So we are still going to forge ahead and turn our agricultural storage building into a community hall to raise the necessary, revenue to continue building our cooperatives here. And the second thing, and this is where I really need help, is I've been researching online about what are the economic development programs that a particular state, particular counties have to assist, especially those in marginalized communities such as ours. What are the best programs that we can pursue for economic development?
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you the insight that I have. I don't know. So if we tap the first one where you're talking about like reusing your space to continue to raise funds and stuff like that, how big of a like how much square foot is kind of like the main hall in there?
The ag building is 5,000 square feet, and we've pretty much moved out all our farm machinery.
Okay.
But we still have quite a bit to take out because we do get a number of donations, and they've just been sitting. And so now, 3 weeks ago, we went to the local high school. We've entered into an MOU with the school district to have the school students come to do their community service with us. And so that's going to be our primary focus with them. Uh, get the hall, the ag building cleaned out, and so that we can get the necessary permits. One of the major things that everybody is promoting is a bingo hall. We've talked to another school district that's doing that, and they have great success. They support all their sports programs with just once a month bingo games. I thought, wow, that's pretty good. So, but we have a lot of other things. I mean, the Filipino Farmers Cooperative has a number of aside from its crops, a number of finished food products and handicrafts that it wants to have at a night markets. So we have a lot of ideas, and we know that we just have to use our assets, and we have to use our folks more wisely right now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I think there's lots of opportunity for you to use the space, right? So it could
Yes.
be an event space, right? Like people could have their weddings there. People pay fortunes to for wedding venues, right? And like this is a season. The summer is a big season for a lot of people to get married. You can host gala dinners, you can run auctions, you could have
Yeah.
community dances for like local schools or whatever. They probably have their gyms and stuff that they would do that. Have craft fairs. You could have a flea market. You can do like there's all kinds of stuff like that. You could have trivia nights, game nights, art exhibitions, educational workshops. Somebody that wants to go on tour for motivational speaking or something like they could rent the space and use that for that. You could do like fitness classes, right? You could have like a monthly yoga class or something that you do there to use the space. One of the things that I like to coach organizations on is like how to get corporate sponsors because corporations have a lot of money. They want to give back. They need to give back, which is a whole other thing, but they've got money to spend and maybe they can host some kind of team retreat or team building thing there or have meetings or conferences there. It would be worth maybe connecting with any local clubs or associations. There's like some bands that need rehearsal space. You could turn it for like a week, a month into some kind of like jam studio, or something. It
Useful.
depends on what it actually looks like, how clean it is and stuff like that. But I think there's definitely lots of stuff that could be done in the space in a creative way.
Thank you for all those wonderful suggestions. I know that our folks also have come up with a lot. I know one thing that we're going to that we are being challenged with is ice. And there is, of course, a great fear within our immigrant community in
Right.
doing these type of gatherings. But I think that we're going to kind of forge ahead. Yeah, it's still a daunting task. If you've ever seen an agricultural storage building, you know what storage means on farms. We
Yeah.
still have a lot to clear out, but we're going to do it. We have 2 bays. So it's a 5-bay building, and we're going to start off with 2 bays right now. And we think that with the students helping us, and I think we're going to be very, very modest in the beginning, just have the students and our other volunteers do the basic things, car washes,
Right.
yard sales, very modest until we can get the 3rd bay cleaned, and then we can go really towards bingo and what you suggest, special events. Zumba is very popular among the Filipinos, and that's high on the list. Bingo is very popular within this
I like that idea.
community.
Any kind of
So we
exercise
know
classes.
those are going to be wildly popular here.
Get people
But
to
I would suggest the first like one or two things that you do that they're
yes.
invite ads, no posting on social media about it or anything like that, because to your point, right, you don't want to draw attention to it, but word of mouth, like maybe you have a WhatsApp group or something like that, but that like other people could
Ah,
ultimately
uh-huh.
join in on that. But if it's invite only, that gives a little bit of protection
right.
for you from any kind of raids happening. But yeah, rightfully so. There's a lot of concern right now, right? The current state of the United States and what's happening is a frightening thing.
It
Yeah, and
is
I've
frightening, and ICE has a very high profile presence in rural communities. I'd like to explore what that means. I mean, through WhatsApp, what we were thinking of doing is having the students and our volunteers do door-to-door invitations, with small flyers, come on out, support your community type of thing. Or another person suggested, well, let's do the bingo, like Filipino only. So it's like a kind of a private event. I'm
Yep.
not
Mhm.
sure, but
I think doing this to start is a smart thing to do, right? Especially right now.
so do you think the door to door invitations is a good idea? We're not going to do social media.
Yeah,
We won't blast it out.
I think door to door could be interesting. I mean, it you should be able to tell who's Filipino and who's not, but you might have somebody that's married to somebody and they knock on the door and it's like a white person or a person of color and they don't necessarily easily identify as Filipino and so they're not included or something like that. I think word of mouth is really good too. Connecting like if you were to call your cousins and your siblings and your children and be like, hey, this is going on, keep it a little bit kind
Well,
of quiet. But if you have Filipino friends, we're doing this Filipino, I don't know, potluck dinner thing or something, right?
A quick question, you guys, are we stopping in 10 minutes or
We can
oh,
continue a bit
so?
longer. It's scheduled for half an
okay.
hour. Could we maybe
Yeah,
switch to Albert
Yeah,
asking a few
you
questions,
should.
Mary Jane, if you don't mind?
Oh, sure, sure.
Thank you.
yeah. So I'm here in Las Vegas area and I'm an advisor to the startup nonprofit. These startup nonprofits are pretty much looking to be an AI incubator.
Mhm.
And with these AI incubators, we're hoping to spin off 501c12s, which is the nonprofit cooperative corporations. Are you guys familiar with that?
Not specifically, but I think
No,
I
not
get the
much.
gist of it.
Okay, so just that's our business model, and we pretty much want to see how fast we could replicate. Like I said, I thought you guys, because she was talking about cooperatives, right? The cooperative model. That's the model that we want to use with our nonprofit AI incubator, right? So, any thoughts?
So I guess if you could just clarify for me, what is it that you want my thoughts on? I'm not clear on that.
Like I said, any resources, any pathways, or, not a lot of people know about the nonprofit cooperative corporation. Are you familiar with that? So
No, I
you're
don't think so.
Not in the
okay.
US, no.
No.
Okay, got
We're-
it. Are you okay? So I guess, so where do you guys help out? Just so I understand where your services lie in or your expertise.
I just shared
So
it in the chat. Sorry, go ahead, David.
no,
Okay.
please. Okay.
I
Um,
just shared it in the chat, Albert, and it has a link to what our offers are for things like software and support. It's donations and discounts for nonprofits.
Okay, donation discounts for
Yeah, so like if you
nonprofits.
click on the link in the chat,
Yeah,
it
I'm
should
sorry,
open
I'm
it
on
up.
the phone right now.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, maybe I
All
can.
right. Well, yeah, if you guys can't explain it, that's fine. Just go ahead. Thanks, you guys.
yeah,
No
so
problem.
TechSoup, they've worked with a number of companies to get discounts on stuff. So for example, Adobe software, Microsoft software, Google
Right.
Workspace, then like Lenovo computers, all kinds of like that you would need to run your nonprofit. There's discounts available through TechSoup. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah. And I
yeah.
know we already registered with TechSoup. So the
Awesome.
nonprofit have their software stack. So that's where you help procure, right? That's pretty much what you do, right?
They're the interconnection. So they're like a membership
Okay.
site. You go, you can see where you can get the discounts, that type of thing. What I do through my agency at Wow Digital, we do web and digital marketing and design for
Oh,
nonprofits
okay.
and charities.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah. Our pleasure. Our
I'll
pleasure.
drop
Hey, Bruce,
something.
welcome.
I'll drop something else in the chat too, because we had a lady who participated in an event. It's in the chat. This is Becky Schuler's contact information. She does consulting serving nonprofits, tribes, and counties in the US. And the presentation she gave in April was on a nonprofit board governance. And I actually interviewed her so I could pull up the notes, but that might help Albert a little bit more because you could reach out to Becky, who's based in the US, who's based in Minnesota. I don't know how much it helps for California, but you may be able to ask Becky the questions that Albert was asking us
Mm-hmm.
because of where she's based. She's
Okay.
probably a better resource. I put her full contact info in there, and you could mention that. You could mention David and mine's name from TechSoup and this particular discussion. She'll know. Just because of the questions too, Mary Jane. I know it looks like Albert still got his note taker here. That these like we're based in Canada, so I can't answer necessarily US based questions about how US nonprofits operate because I've never worked them.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't join the calls, right? We'll try and answer any other questions because I think there's a lot of stuff, regardless of where you live, that are
Right.
relevant tech and marketing and communications and operational questions that borders are not really relevant.
I certainly agree. I mean, it's basically how do you engage people and how do you keep them involved?
Well,
Right.
exactly. And that's kind of
Yeah.
universal to what we do at
Yes.
TechSoup and nonprofits and the kind of work we do. And I was going to add a comment earlier too about what you're saying about, and I was actually researching where you are in California because I didn't know where it was. And I found on Google Maps, I found the city of Rossi, California. And the first thing that
Yeah.
popped up was a swap meet. So I don't know if that helps you with your event. Like David's saying, it's not a public event. It looks like there's an Erosi swap meet in Rossi,
It is.
California.
There
I don't know if
is.
there's something else that could work for your space, but what I was going to say too is I had only ever heard about all the stuff with migrant and farm workers and ICE on the news or read it in one of our national newspapers, the Globe and Mail. So it's good that you showed up because it provides really good context to what's actually happening where you are.
Exactly. Right. And how do you, how do you continue to engage a community that's pretty frightened right now
Yeah, I
and pretty
understand.
on the edge? But like I said, I mean, through hard times and good times, we still have to continue. We really do. And
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you
yeah,
do. And I
so
was
we're
trying to
going to
find,
forge ahead
yeah,
with
and I
what
was trying
we
to
need to do. But
find out more
let me
about the
just,
reason.
oh, uh-huh.
I was going to say, I've been trying to find out more about the resource center and what it does just to,
Well, Well, you can see we're pretty limited. At one time, we had the help of we went to a lot of the Filipino student organizations at universities and colleges. We scaled back because, we were going to the bigger universities, UC Berkeley, SFS, San Francisco
Right.
State, those. I literally just got out of the truck. I've driven 5 hours from San Francisco. And
Okay.
yeah. And so it's to be in an area that's pretty rural like this. So anyway, we've scaled back and we're only trying to do our what we call farm work brigades among students at local colleges now. We're not going to go long distance anymore like that. I think just the
Interesting.
cost of fuel, the distance,
Yeah.
but I still think that among this crowd, that's what I'd like to explore at some point. How do we build like a really effective website or a real effective social media presence that we can
Right.
reach out to those, especially in the urban areas, that can be a very strong donor support, base for us. I think
Sure.
that's our major thing. And like I said,
Yeah,
we did try
it's
the farm brigades.
right. Yeah, let's maybe Mary Jane. I think there's probably a couple other things we could explore here because we'd like to let Bruce ask a few
Sure.
questions as well.
Oh, yes.
And I think when you hit on the last note, it took us a while to get there, but when you hit on the last piece about the website and social media, that's exactly what we can help you with. Like it's right up mine and David's alley. So that's something that's certainly possible, right? That sort of transcends like what we said about borders and things like that. And I think we're both experts in, and I hate to use the term experts, in things like constructing websites and social media messaging that clearly gets out,
Oh,
messaging about what you're trying to do. That's really mine and
yes.
David's forte. Or I can't always speak for David, but I know that's one of my fortes. David knows more.
So quick question, are you available after this event?
What I was
Or-
going to say, what I did, because I'm operating multiple things here while I'm running this meeting, was I actually dove back into my TechSoup folders on my email because I found your name
Yes.
in my TechSoup registrations folder, but it's out your Gmail. But I did find your name. I think that's what it does. Let's keep this quick, but maybe you could, or I can privately chat you. And if you can send me some contact information, then I can share it with David. That might be a better way.
Oh, great. I'll
Okay.
do that.
So
Also,
I'll
in the sorry to interrupt, in the
Yeah,
Zoom
go ahead.
chat, I dropped a link to my consult booking. Jane, if you want, you could always just hop on there and pick a date and time that works for you if you want to chat.
Let's let Bruce throw some comments in here. I know we're scheduled for half an hour, but obviously we've gone a bit over time. So if people want to stick around, they can for at least probably another 10, 15 minutes. What are you thinking, David? Is that sort of long
Yeah,
enough?
I've got time for sure.
Okay,
For sure.
let's do that.
Bruce, welcome.
Thanks. I'm sorry I'm late, and
No problem. You'll get the recording.
yeah. So my question is fairly specific. I
Okay.
do and it may be something that you guys would have maybe you have some leads on as far as partners or something like that. It's not specifically a marketing question. So I have a client, charitable client that does environmental education, and they want to switch from hosted email, so like IMAP email on a virtual private server to Google Workspace, because they all work within the education system that has a learning component that is tied in into public education. I have with admin on both of those, but I'm having having trouble with, because they have been working within the education system. They've then created these using work accounts, Google Workspace, private Google Workspace things, using their branded account for the things. So they have a Google Drive and everything for it, and now trying to bring that mail to in Google Workspace for nonprofits through TechSoup. I'm getting blocked. I can't get the domain to port. I tried asking, I went on to a workspace for nonprofits, the channel partners for what they said. And they said, well, there's ones because they do it as a derivative of Google Workspace Canada or whatever. And they went in and they said, oh, this one in Toronto does it. And it was bad. I didn't know whether you guys had a suggestion for how to go about that, or had anybody that you work with, or if you have any experience with that. But my client is pulling their hair out, and I'm trying to support them. And I have a couple of other folks that I work with, but a lot of the stuff that we do is working with the charitable Microsoft 365 and porting them in. For better, for worse, it seems to it's somehow easier. But yeah, and I've been working with all of it for 20 years.
So are you looking to, I guess, so is the issue connecting the domain to the new Google Workspace for Education, or is it you want to get your email out of one Google system and bring it into a different Google system?
No, it's not in the Google system now. It's all outside. It's that bring it in. It fails at the last stages of setting up an admin account with that domain, because there's already been people that have administrator accounts for like their Google AdWords or whatever, right? That have used their domain email to register for an account for that, I've got an account for putting their stuff together for the back end of their website. And it's just a cluster of certain things. Yes. That's just,
So I've done email migrations from Google, like gmail.com, like the free one, into Workspace. I've done it from Workspace to Workspace. There's platforms out there that you can get. I've done it from IMAP into Workspace as well.
Okay.
It is possible to do. I'm trying to remember. There's like a cloud service provider that I used, and they have like Microsoft to Gmail or to Google, and then Google back to this one, and they like do all these things, and it was really cheap. I think it was like $300 US. Use it, and it wasn't expensive, and it worked really well, and it even moved Google Workspace to another Google Workspace. And it moved Google Drive, it moved Calendar, it moved everything from one over into the other, which was like, it took a couple of days, but just because of the sheer amount of data, it was like 300 gigs of data, and it can only do so much an hour or something like that, but it worked really, really well. In terms of people, if there was a David.com Google Workspace and there was a Bruce.com Google Workspace, and you created an account in Ben's website with using your Google to, how sometimes just like sign in with your Google account?
Yeah.
Right? You can't migrate those. I shouldn't say you can't. I've never been able to migrate those. You'd have to create a brand new account in the system to be able to use like single sign-in type of idea with the Google account. So if that's what you're trying to do, you'd have to create the new accounts there.
I don't think so. Like I've created admin accounts and registered them in. I can see I've listed those accounts in Google for Nonprofits as an admin. So I can see, okay, here's your AdWords account. Here's your, advertising isn't my biggest strong suit, but here's the other pieces of that puzzle. And oh, by the way, you can sign up for Workspace, and I put the Workspace in, and then we jump through all the hoops. How many staff have this? Do you have a domain? Yes, it is. And it's at the last part. It says something has failed, so I can't actually get to the point where I actually have an admin. I can't get into the admin interface. I can't get to that point where I have the one domain in for that particular client. I can't set up the box and then start to migrate everything in, because I'm not there yet, because they won't let this thing get in. And it's that sort of last mile shit that pardon my French, that's the piece. And I just wondered if that was something that I could go through, either if you had some ways to sort of steer me that I'd go, because I randomly contacted, but this one, I mean, like I said, I've been doing a lot of all of my things are small and medium nonprofit clients in Canada, and I do tech support for them and Blackboard admin and blah blah. Like, so I know it's how lots of things work, but this is one of these ones that's kind of like eluded me. That's why I signed up to the office hours. It's kind of like, I bet you there's some smart things in the TechSoup thing that would say, we did this before, and like you said, it may be just getting in touch with the guys from the cloud that say, every time we do this, we just add another domain, create the window, then add the domain you actually want, and then put it in, which is probably what my next step is to just one in that they don't use for mail and create an admin account in it, and then bring in a new domain. But I just wondered if
Are you adding these domains as like add-on domains to the main Google Workspace?
no, there is no workspace yet. There's only
There,
these little
okay.
private fragments. I sign up with, like, instead of signing up with your Gmail account, you've got a
Yeah.
your MyOrg account, but signed up privately as an individual, not signed up as part of the board. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I'm just I'm struggling to see I'm struggling, I guess, to understand the setup there. But if you like, I'm happy to hop on like a consult call and we could do like a share screen or something like that, and
Sure.
I can see what's
Yeah.
happening. And yeah, I'm happy to give you some help. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I won't tie up any of your time. I just wanted to pick somebody's brain, and this opportunity came up, and I'm like, I always get these meetings in here, and I'm kind of an ambassador for most of the communities that I'm in. So I'm kind of like, yeah, I could probably reverse my role here and slide into the DMs and go, hey guys, what's up? So yeah, if I can set that up with you, and I won't try and tie up any of your time, but I could show you what happens with mine, and then we could go from there.
That's why we set these up though, Bruce. Like, if you're getting the emails, great. We're promoting them. I think this is an experiment, if anything. From all the 5 years I've been with TechSoup posting events with Eli, I don't know if we'd ever done an open office hours. So it's kind of a unique thing. In one aspect, it's hard to promote it because it's something novel and new. The other thing is the people who show up, I know from the previous ones, including this one, they're getting some time and advice with David that a lot of other people aren't getting or aren't using. So, I mean, you're smart to do it.
Sure.
Maybe.
I'll give yourself some credit, but
yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so maybe so I should set up something. I can set up something with you for like maybe next week or something like that.
Yeah, so that consult link that I dropped in the Zoom chat, wowdigital.com/consult, you can there's a Calendly on there.
Yeah.
So just find a date and time that works for you. It's connected directly in my calendar, so you'll see like whatever availability I've got. If you're interested, the platform that I was using to do the like email system migration stuff, it's called Cloud HQ.
I've heard of that.
I'll drop a link here in the Zoom chat for you as well. And they do, like, if you don't see something on there under products, if you open up like a chat with them or email their support, there's things that they do that aren't in that list. And I needed something, I don't remember what it was. It was like 3 years ago. And I got in touch with them and they're like, oh yeah, use this one. Okay.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, it sounds a lot better than the guy that I said, hey, he's on a call with me, and he's talking to somebody in behind him on a call. He's like, hey Mary, do they still have Google Workspace for nonprofits in Canada?
Yes, they do. Yes, they do.
The free one. Oh no, we can't do that. It doesn't fit our thing. And then he just goes on at length to tell me how he couldn't get paid because he couldn't transfer the accounts because they get a commission or something off of transferring Google accounts to it. And I'm like, I'm just asking you guys to like, I'm saying, well, if you're a consulting company that does Google Workspace, tell me what the cost is to do it. But he says, I can't even do it because we couldn't transfer the accounts, and therefore we wouldn't get a kick on X number of staff accounts at 5 cents a day or whatever.
They should, but if they're going to charge you $150 an hour to consult with you to help you solve this problem, that's better than 5 cents an account for 5 months or whatever it is that they would get.
Yeah,
like,
I know that, and know that, but apparently he didn't know that, so it's whatever.
But yeah, I'm happy. Like, hop on a consult. I'll I'll give you whatever thoughts I have for free.
Sure.
I'm not going to bill you for that.
Okay.
Like if I can point you in the right direction or whatever, happy
Yeah.
to do that.
Perfect. Thanks.
Yeah, let's take the time to wrap it up there, guys, because we went 15 minutes over, and we said 12 to 12:30. So it's been lots of great conversation in here and opportunities to pick David's brain. And thanks to Mary Jane as well. I did actually receive, Mary Jane, your proper email address and contact information, because it blocks it out in the TechSoup registration. How we can contact you if you need help. So I made a note to
Oh,
cut.
should I include my phone number?
You didn't, but I have the Gmail you sent me for the Rural Communities Resource Center. So I can share that with David via email. I have your name. I don't know if there's a phone number. There might be something in Google. I found something on the web here. And maybe there's something in the Meet, or sorry, not in the, almost like the Google My Business profile. It says the Rural Communities Resource Center is temporarily closed, but I thought there was a Google record here of what was available.
Yeah, that's a glitch that we've got to fix because I
Okay.
don't know how that happened, but yeah, we're basically open quite a bit
Oh, no.
because we do offer
Okay.
community service for those mandated
exactly.
by the courts. Yeah, so we're open 7 days a week, actually.
Okay. I have the number here. It is 1-559-528-0107.
That's it.
Okay. I'll be in touch with you and I'll CC David, but
Oh, wonderful.
time-
Thank you.
yeah, probably time to wrap up the call here, because we said 12:30 and we're 15 minutes over, and I think a lot of us have other things going on today. I know David probably does. And so thank you, Bruce, for joining, Mary Jane and Albert for joining. David, thank you as always for your wisdom and experience and advice. With that, we're going to wrap it up there. We'll talk to everyone soon.